All right. So stop simping and build new earth. So here you can see there's a bunch of Instagram stories. This is probably a format that I'm going to follow quite a bit moving forward, where there's a posting of the previous day's Instagram stories, and then there's a streaming that the net following day that breaks down and further amplifies and excites and inspires and just cuts through simping and inspires action for building the new world. So here, there's just a sharing that there were 5 new reels that were posted from that video about stop simping and build new earth, which is an awesome video. Check it out if you haven't yet. And then that the library is currently being ported over to Rumble also, just to create that further diversification because of freedom of speech. So here, this video is about how rap hits with the God mode that spiritual cunts can't handle. You see there's leaders and there's followers, but I'd rather be a dick than a swallower, So that one hits where, rap hits a certain way that inspires the God mode activation within. There's no limits or contractions. That's why rappers and hip hop artists, that's why they can so easily just go hard on themselves and about their uniqueness and their gifts and their message and all that stuff. There's no contractions or bounds or limits. They just go. And it's beautiful because a spiritual cunt is in a straitjacket and it can't handle it. Economist. Peasant, dude. Peasant. Straight up peasant, dude. The World Economic Forum, global elite are going to eat that up like cake. You'll have the spiritual cunts meditating on cushions, eating cockroaches and getting provided rations with the centralized bank digital currencies, while the God mode warriors that are activated by self-realization and that are activated by building the new world are going to go out building the basic needs infrastructures of the new generation and of just slaying the matrix tentacles. So here's another one there was a comment on TikTok about on the reel that was posted about surrender the whole body to new earth. And the question was, I'm trying to learn, do you have any book recommendations? And this is a typical thing, is to ask about book recommendations and whatnot. And there's a way to sort of cut through what is this journey that takes eons to surrender one's small self to the big self and the selfless gifts. So that's why there's a reflection back that's really sharp and that just cuts through the apparent eons of journey to just get right into it cleanly. So that's why best for the self to get out of the way for the capital S self, which is everything. The self has the codes of the selfless gifts, because when one is the capital S self, there is no tendency to want to do action. There's no more doing of action that is related to the small s self, which is unworthiness and seeking validation and trying to get for itself. And the thing looking out the eyes is nothing being everything, including the body. This is usually enough to see through selfing. So meaning when the thing that's looking out the eyes is itself nothing everythinging, when that's the case, then it can be integrated into the warrior of the character. It can be integrated into building new earth from that place. This was also from a friend that was saying, where did you get it that I was free? I'm still lost in my dream 90% of the time. I'm thinking that y'all are going to have to go on without this one. I'm too committed to my nightmare. So, and there's just a reply of Ragnar from Vikings, because that's all that you can do, especially because the conversation with this one, it's like they're digging their heels in their own dream. So if you're being reflected back that, no, I'm digging my heels in my dream and that I refuse to come out you can't do anything. I mean, Ragnar, you can grab them by the testicles, slap them in the face, and tell them, get the fuck on the battlefield, you cunt. You can do that. But then there might be all kinds of resentments and all kinds of things. And there's got to be an activation and a constitutionalization within that body itself that's ready to go to war for New Earth, that's ready to completely give up its dream. And that's up to the military general's discernment also, is to see who's actually activated like that, that's willing to come on the battlefield and lock arms as brothers and sisters for the new world. So, started going more ham here, coming at the throats of the simping beta cucks. I swear I'm going to kill every single simping beta cuck alive by dragging them by their testicles from behind their computer watching OnlyFans to shoving their face in the dirt of the battlefield for New Earth. Alan has been anointed new king of the manosphere. Here, your highness, you drop this. Any man who took the vaccine and sucked the cock of Big Daddy Gov instead of rebelling, resisting, and critical thinking deserves to be annihilated in those WEF matrix prisons being built. So here's the thing. If there's simping that's happening, it is the most important program to dislodge is simping of any sort. I don't give a fuck what you're simping to. I don't care if you're simping to OnlyFans, or if you're simping to gurus, or if you're simping to a daddy government, or if you're simping to seeking validation from your own mom and dad. I don't care who the fuck you're simping to. That's all got to be absolutely obliterated. If you don't obliterate that beta cuck simping bullshit, and if you don't fucking get going and get fucking working out, taking good care of the body, of getting ignited for the new world, of ceasing all of those stupid programs, then you'll just take the jabs. You'll take the jabs. You'll say, yes, daddy government, jab me, daddy, jab me, daddy. And all critical thinking will be gone because those programs will be running the show. And then what we're seeing is we're seeing these the most, it's crazy because it's the prisoners themselves are the ones that are further solidifying their own jail cells. So it's not even that the WEF is the culprit. It's that the programs that are being propagated are running in the open space of mind. These programs are running that are then taking the body prisoner and turning the body into a slave to build its own prison in these cities where there's centralized bank digital currencies and where there's propaganda and oversight and all kinds of limits on the freedom and sovereignty of the human spirit. So fuck all that and goddamn build the new sovereign infrastructures before I slap you awake, bitch. This is also lovely, is you're only ever talking to a light hologram, so be fearless. So, when you see a video that pops up online and it's like the European Union's head of finance or whatever, and it's like, we're digitizing the euro and now we're going to be overseeing all transactions and we're going to be the ones that get to dictate what you can and can't do with your money. Basically, they're going to be the ones that set the limits on your freedom. When you see that video, that's a light hologram. So be fucking fearless and goddamn punch those matrix tentacles fearlessly. Punch them. Same thing when someone replies to you in person or online or wherever. Someone replies to you and they're like, oh, I'm a beta cuck. I like getting the jabs, or I believe in daddy government, or whatever bullshit. Roar at them fearlessly. Roar at them fearlessly for New Earth. Roar at them. Roar at them because it's just a light hologram. It's just a light hologram. That's where this fearlessness can come from. That's why you can feel like you're wielding these swords. Feel like you're wielding those swords that have etched on them New Earth or bust. I'm going to die on this fucking sword of New Earth. So this is more screenshots of conversations that I'm having with different people. So 6 jabs later, completely infertile, DNA corrupted, GI destroyed, lethargic, eating poisonous foods, beep booping, beep 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 booping, beep 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 boop 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 beep boop 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 boop, like Matrix cattle, beep beep boop 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 beep beep boop 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 beep beep boop 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 boop, Matrix cattle, beep beep boop 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 beep beep boop 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 beep beep boop 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 boop, Matrix cattle. So that program that Chips inserted, and now it's ironic because it's basically the Roman circus again. Divide and conquer while totalitarian tiptoe. Siphon the wealth out of both arguing parties slowly while they're distracted. And it's fucking obvious. The United States government got ungodly bloated. And then there's just been so much fucking corruption and this ridiculous bipartisan gridlock and argument and hatred of the other. And then meanwhile, global elitists come and use the United States government as a piggy bank to just siphon out as much money from the poor and middle class as possible, exacerbating wealth inequality, inflating the 0.1%, inflating the richness. Meanwhile, poor and middle class people eat dog shit, don't own their own homes, don't own their own time. And so it is the fucking Matrix enslavement. And so we are to exit and build. We are to exit and build the new, and we are to fucking obliterate all of the goddamn Matrix tentacles that are saturating into our spirits. And stop allowing your body to get this, dude. Stop allowing your body. Think about it, man. A jab is exactly like you're allowing Big Daddy to stab you, basically. And then the funny thing is you allow Big Daddy to stab you, and then you come back again and say, Big Daddy, will you stab me again, please? Just stab me again, please, Big Daddy. So you see what you're doing when you agree to that. You're going to where the Matrix is testing you. It's testing you to see if you're going to let it fuck you with its blade. That's what's happening. And then what's happening within the body is that DNA, that beautiful bloodline of the New World Warrior that is supposed to reproduce and that's supposed to have an abundance of New World Warriors and New World artists and New World creatives, and beautiful awake children, is now becoming lethargic. The GI's having issues. It's eating the shitty poisonous foods, and the programs that are running, it's all about the obsolescence of all of those bullshit programs. Waking up the beep boopers. So all of it is obvious to anyone trained in the dark arts. It has been blatantly obvious since the US Gov got bloated. Humans are movable cattle for global elites running satanic programs, revealing in plain sight their ruling playbook. The fappers are stuck in circles, declining the blatantly obvious duality of war, asleep in patterns seeking for a sword to strike and destroy the asleepness, to ignite the warrior within to die into the transcendent game. And then there's a picture of Kali chopping off heads with GG or good game below that. So anyone trained in the dark arts can see the ruling elite's playbook, right? It's transparent. It has to be transparent. That's part of the game. Part of the game is for it to be laid out as transparent, because then the karmic consequences are not there. So what's happening is it's being laid out, and then knowingly and willingly you see it being laid out and you still agree to it. You watch the government saying, we're going to have centralized bank digital currencies, bitch. We're going to have them. We're going to have them. You're watching endless videos about centralized bank digital currencies, and then the day that they finally come and lock all of your fucking money into what they want you to do with it and limit you with it, then you say, oh, well, okay, I guess either you'll join further into the Matrix prisons, or you'll finally get catalyzed hard enough to get liberated and build the new world. And so you've been warned, and it's blatantly obvious. The United States government back 300 years ago, 250 years ago, it never had this intention. 250 years ago, there was never the intention for it to go up in population by an order of magnitude, and for the government to get so bloated, and for the wealth inequality to get so drastic, and for there to be such an obliteration of the ethos of the Constitution, and for there to be such a disregard for the humanness of the working class. There's an absolute disregard for it. There's a total separation that's happened in the West, where instead of the way that trees and mushrooms exchange nutrients with each other underground in perfect harmony as nature, where humans can biomimic that, it's become complete separate silos of bullshit billionaires and corporate CEOs and deep state elites and all kinds of bullshit and all kinds of fucking hoarding. And it's time to call it out the way it is. It's time to build the new. And it's time to create the catalyst that wake up those that are in those positions of wealth in those silos, because they can come on to the new Earth side and create a big splash in that direction. So, and the fappers, the ones that are just fapping, fap on whatever platforms, OnlyFans, or on fucking social media scrolling or whatever, fap, just lost in the same fapping loop, pretending like the duality of this infinity war is not real. It's just pretending. It really is. You're just pretending that you can relax back into oneness and just allow everything to happen. That's bypassing your character's divine role in this game. Your character's divine role in this game is to go out and fucking serve for the new Earth, serve your gifts. There is no bypassing. There is no spectating. You motherfucking spectators are starting to piss me off, you fucking fappers back there, fap. Starting to piss me off. I'm coming for your fucking heads. And so the asleepness in those patterns is, there is a little pinholes. And so if these catalysts get into those little pinholes where the program is running, there can be like an explosion that happens of that program, and there can be like a glitch that happens. And then from the Matrix programming, there can be a shift to the new Earth programming. That's what a lot of this show is. This show is generating those catalysts that get into those little pinholes of those contracted programs that then shatter them out of the Matrix and into building new Earth. And that ignites the warrior within to die into the transcendent game. And that's your GG right there. So it's just too obvious. It's so obvious. This is the truth, and there's no arguing it, that there are trillions of dollars that are being hoarded by the demon of lack and separation and silo, rather than being invested into free energy and basic needs. There's no arguing it. You have all of these archetypes of the solar punk decentralized basic needs future of abundance for all and freedom for all of humanity. And then you have these trillions of dollars that are being hoarded by global elites that are where they could easily be put into free energy systems and easily be put into decentralizing basic needs and abundance for all, but they're not. They're not. You have, and this list goes on and on and on and on with people that have billions and billions and billions of fucking dollars, with the B, billions of dollars. And it goes on and on and on and on. The selfishness, the greed, the corruption, the fucking ego, the satanic programs that are running that prevent the obliteration of the silo of separation. So there's just no hiding it anymore, and there's no repressing it anymore. It's going to be said exactly how it is, because this is exactly how it is. We have everything to build free energy systems and basic needs infrastructures and free people, and yet we don't. So let's be fucking real about it and call it out exactly how it is, and shepherd the building of that new Earth and generate these catalysts. And this is great too, And if you close your eyes, can you see that nothing changed at all? Because here's the thing, nothing ever changes. When you close your eyes, you can clearly see that nothing's really changing. And yet at the same time, all of this change is eternally apparent and it's endless. And so that's just the nature of the games that God plays, that this infinity plays, is that nothing changes and yet everything apparently eternally changes. And there's endless games. There's endless ways to fall asleep and wake up. There's endless ways to go to war with yourself as God. And so here we are. There's a conversation I was having with a friend, just literally just joking around, because when you just obliterate all programs and all limits, you're able to envision crazy shit like this 100-foot giant's uncircled dick so big that the foreskin can stretch out and cover my whole body from head to toe. Maybe we're all got smegma, makes sense, scale and variance. Because literally, who is there to care, right? There's no one home. Who is there to care? No one, just God, right? So this is just God's joke. No one's here to care. And yet all there is this, an apparent raging cunt yelling for new earth. Just God puppeting the body for new earth. And here's another conversation with another friend, just that it's beyond raw and all channeling. It's beyond all of that. It's just the nature of light itself. And there is a skyness to how it works, an AI-ness to how it works. And just like there is a groundness, like there's an earthness to how it works. And the pain of repressing is worst. The pain of repressing is worst. And full send is the light. Full send it, motherfucker. Full send it, motherfucker. Full send it. That is the light. Full send it. Full send it. Ha! Full send it. Full send it. Full send all your unique gifts for new earth. Full send it. So this one, you may have to rotate the device a little to see it. I didn't come prepared for the horizontal ones. Everything is God. This is energy mastery, and more truth is said, less follow. Weeding out. Those that come on ride are on warfield, living truest. So this is, again, absolutely unarguable that everything is God and this is energy mastery. So your beingness is in energy mastery school. And so energy mastery means when another body comes up and it's talking about, oh my God, vax me, daddy, let's get the jab, let's help be prisoners in our matrix cells. Your energy mastery is your learning there is to be like, nah, bitch, we're going to build the new earth. Fuck all that shit. Bye-bye. And that's how you, when someone is suffering, when someone's going through some sort of pain, when someone's going through some sort of transformation, your work in energy mastery is helping serve them in whatever they're going through as a transformation. Because every time one of those programs is obliterated by a catalyst, what's happening is there's a glitching that's happening. And during that glitching process, going towards the new earth, out of the matrix towards the new earth, there's usually the need for there to be someone there that can relate to that and help be a guide until there's enough energy mastery built where one feels sovereign and can help those that are making the transformation themselves. So it's actually really beautiful that this is all energy mastery and that we can serve those that are going through their transformations to become New World warriors and ignited. And the more that truth is said, the less is that follows, because what's happening is that those that are saying truthful things are being canceled. You can see it with Russell Brand. It just happened with. It happened with Andrew Tate. It happened with even Donald Trump. It happened with Julian Assange. It's happened with so many of this cancel culture. I mean, I even went all the way back to Tupac. because it's happened with all of it. You can tell when someone starts saying things that are truthful, what happens is there's a matrix attack, which is trying to get them imprisoned for something that didn't happen. And that's a continuous thing. It's an obvious continuous thing. It's an obvious trait of the dark arts. It's the way to repress freeing people and freeing Earth and supporting the basic needs. It's truly is. And that's the great weeding out that's happening. This is the great purge. The great purge that's happening is, if you're going to be a matrix zombie, or if you're going and then eventually get killed because AI, robots, and all that shit is taking over anyway, or if you're going to homestead and build the new basic needs infrastructures of the world and say fuck you to all of that shit. And those that come on this ride are on the warfield. They're living their truest because they know that this is the only way forward. There's no more sitting back and doing nothing. It's not going to work anymore. There's a certain time during the spiritual journey where it makes sense to learn how to do nothing and feel the divine silence and stillness underneath of everything. But that's a short part of the journey. That's a short part of grokking what one truly is, because then that must be integrated into the body, into the war field itself, and go and fucking fight and die for the new world. This battlefield is a warrior's wet dream. Moving forward, retain extreme sovereignty of the body and stand unshakable in that word. Roar like a lion with new earth at who speaks highly of the jab or any matrix control system. Other soldiers will align to your frequency. The programs are fragile and made of dust. Homesteading in basic needs communities is the best bet for the next generations as the matrix deploys more control systems. Get excited about slaying all those demonic matrix tentacles. It's a warrior's wet dream to be on this battlefield. You see, it's the wet dream of the warrior to be on this battlefield. So get the fuck on the battlefield with your gifts, with your sword, building the new, obsoleting the old, roaring like a lion, shattering the matrix control systems. All of it's just made of dust anyway. All of it's a light hologram anyway. So swing your fucking sword and build the goddamn new. And homestead in the new communities. Homestead in those new communities. The Matrix will have you do all kinds of things, again, obvious to anyone who has studied the dark arts. The propaganda is inserted as programs into the open space of mind. The self is hijacked by these programs and the body begins behaving with dishonor. Selfish, greed, unethical, separation, simping to the same machinery that sent the toxic programs. When the hijacker is fearlessly annihilated by the open space, God reclaims his channel and puppets the body. The spiritual cunt is one of the final programs that the hijacker runs to retain control. If you're not just an empty body fighting for new earth, you're not done on the path. God will effortlessly roar this out the body's mouthpiece when the douchefuck contractor is done simping in delusion. So, again, anyone trained in the dark arts can see how fucking obvious this is. It's so obvious. The propaganda is inserted as programs into the open space of mind. Nothing, everything. There's only God. Only God is real. And so then this propaganda comes in as these dust programs. That is literally what it is. It's just dust programs. The sense of separation and the sense of self that lacks, that is greedy, selfish, dishonorable, that is simply a dust program that is running within the body. So the self gets hijacked by those programs, capital S self, and then the body begins behaving with this dishonor, and it begins simping to that same machinery that sent the toxic programs, okay? So you can see that then that dust program that's running, its main protocol, in a way, is to worship the very toxic machinery that sent the program to it. So when the propaganda says that government is very good, government, you should be okay with the military-industrial complex, you should be okay with the jab, you should be okay with the centralized bank digital currencies, that's why then that dust program begins worshiping all of those things. It doesn't even fight or rebel or question against those things, you see? And then it then further goes, and when it talks to other bodies, it promulgates that same matrix agenda and program. And then the hijacker is fearlessly annihilated by the open space. God reclaims its channel and puppets the body. And so the spiritual cunt is one of the final programs that the hijacker runs to retain control. So what's happening is that when the dust program gets a little tiny pinhole. It gets a little pinholes, right? So those little glitches that happen. So catalysts like this travel across the ether to the matrix zombies, and it hits the little pinhole of light that's open for the catalyst to come in, and then the catalyst has the opportunity to explode that matrix program. And so what happens is that this is typically what's called like the spiritual journey or the transformative journey out of matrix, out of separation, out of lack, out of selfing, out of greed and selfishness and dishonor, and into building new earth, into non-duality, into spirituality, into love and transformation and abundance for all, and all of those things. So that's when all of these little hijacker programs, including the spiritual cunt one, which is such a fucking bitch. The spiritual cunt one is such a bitch. The spiritual cunt one is such a fucking tight straitjacket. It's all of these motherfuckers that sit on the goddamn royal philosopher chairs with the little flowers on the side, and that have all their seekers suck on their testicles. That's the spiritual cunt program, and that has to die. That motherfucking program has to goddamn die, and all of those seekers and teachers and all of them need to get on the goddamn battlefield and build the new earth infrastructure and start fucking hating the matrix. That's the duality of the Infinity War. It is not fucking sucking a testicle of a guru for this entire incarnation. That is the spiritual industrial complex in a nutshell, is a seeker with testicles in its mouth sucking on the guru's nutsack for its whole incarnation. That's the spiritual industrial complex in a nutshell. So that program needs to also be obliterated. And then the hijackers run out of control systems, and then the open space of self with a capital S, God effortlessly puppets the body for new world. The mouthpiece has been liberated. It's been liberated. It can just fucking flow. Nothing wrong can ever be said, and it can enter into the battlefield like the fearless goddamn warrior it is in this Infinity War for basic needs abundance on Earth. And if you're not just an empty body fighting for new earth, you're not done on the path. You're just not done. If you're not an empty body fighting for new earth, you're not done on the path. You're not done. If it hasn't been an obvious snap, an obvious surrender of everything that is the lower sense of self, all of that, all of the hijacker, all of that stuff, if that's not obviously completely gone, and the water flow is just channeling of building new earth, and there's an obvious feeling that the body itself is just empty and moving effortlessly in that direction, there's not doneness on the path. There has been artificial grounds that have been created. There's all kinds of other distortions that can be reflected out and purified until the warrior is fully awake, alive, and building the new world. So God will effortlessly roar this out the body's mouthpiece when the douchefuck contractor is done simping in delusion. So more on the saga of Miriam. So Magdalena. So she is triggering so many contractions, limits in the spiritual community. They are going nuts. So this is my friend who I did that video about on when oneness collides with the matrix. For me, the duality is refreshing. She is appearing as a catalyst to destroy the spiritual contraction and liberate the mouthpiece from hijacker remnants so water can flow in various unblocked ways for new earth. And so this is very triggering in the spiritual community. It's super triggering right now because there's a lot of reflections that are happening about contracted spiritual cunts that are sitting and not doing anything for new earth. They are not honorably dying into building the new earth. They are sitting back like little spiritual cunts that are just masturbating on concepts, just fapping on concepts all day long. And so it's in fapping on not doing anything. There's fapping on inaction, fapping on inaction in building the new world, just completely fapping. And so it's extremely triggering in the spiritual community right now, and I love that. And this is what it looks like and what it feels like happens when the idea I can say something wrong is destroyed. Unprecedented freedom for the mouthpiece to flow authenticity. So this is what I was talking about regarding that contracted dust program in that open space. Balloons. In that open space, there's that contracted dust program. And when that catalyst travels across the ether and can get into that little pinhole within that dust program, it can fucking explode the contraction of that dust program and liberate the mouthpiece to authentic flow in service to earth, in service to God, in service to the highest potential here. So this is, many of you know I was in India for 3 months earlier this year. When I visited Bodh Gaya, where Buddha was enlightened, I spent time with the Dalit kids. We are planning on opening a free school for 150 plus Dalit kids. This is your heads up that I'm going to ask for donors for this soon. So you can see here is, here's me teaching at the Dalit school. This is me with my friend Vicky. This is us together. We're planning with Chica too. We're planning and her dog. We're planning on the school. This is our this is Vicky's land. This is the blueprint. This is one of the local villages that just got water system. So this is what I'm talking about regarding basic needs, infrastructures. This is what I'm talking about regarding the warrior dying on its fucking sword. This is what I'm talking about with building the new earth. It's this kind of stuff. I fucking hate spiritual people and non-dual people that are masturbating on concepts all day long, equally to as much as I hate the World Economic Forum and the global elites and the bankers that are fucking contracting people in matrix prisons that are then their own fucking prison guards in those prisons. I fucking hate the woke culture. I fucking hate all of that bullshit. All that bullshit is a goddamn distraction from the new earth. All of it is the game, the beautiful game that God is retardedly playing with itself. And this is the only shit that matters. Basic needs for all is the only thing that matters. Nothing else matters. Wake up. Nothing else matters. If you were decentralized and distributed like the biological systems, which you already are, but you're contracted into the illusion of separation. But if you truly felt that, which is what God's flow is, if you truly felt that, what would happen is you wouldn't care about anything besides liberating all of your body. If you were actually non-local and omni-local across all bodies, you would care about nothing besides freeing yourself of all of the contractions in the root systems on the planet. And that's what's happening is there's a network, which is like the internet. The human bodies are just like a fucking network, like the internet. And there's all these contractions within that distributed, decentralized system. There's all these contractions and silos of billionaires and matrix prisons and all kinds of bullshit. So if you were actually raw, self-realized, if you were completely selfless, if the God flow was roaring through you and you were activated in God mode and you could fucking rap about it and fight about it and everything, then all you would care about is decentralization of basic needs infrastructures and freeing people to be fucking free for generations to come. So children can be born to be fucking free, to be artists, to be creative, to wake up every day and not have to sell their time for money. For Earth to have the indigenous wisdom of unity and harmony with nature to be built into its technological utopia's infrastructures. It's such a joke that these things even have to be said and that they're not obvious. It's such a joke. So fuck you for pretending like, oh, that's not obvious to me. Yes, it is. All of that is obvious. Now shut the fuck up and go die on that sword and go build that shit. This is also getting so fucking annoying to watch. So there's a on Friday, Sam Altman was fired by OpenAI's board, and then he was hired by Microsoft late Sunday, and then returned to OpenAI on Tuesday, and then and then I'll read the rest of it, and then I'll get back to that one. So there is an arms race playing out. They're popping champagne because of the way it was played. The stock price climbed to an all-time high. Shares are now up 58%. Market cap's at 2.8 trillion now, and investors are excited because of this desire to gain exposure to AI. And I wrote, it's obvious kayfabe. This is all matrix kayfabe. It's not even discreet anymore. It's just blatant and in your face, complete matrix kayfabe. Basic needs are ignored while billionaires unethically pump. Fuck your games, elitists. We're calling you out. And there's a tagging of Microsoft and OpenAI and Sam Altman and Satya Nadella, and also Elon Musk, although Elon, I feel like, is tagged here because just to bring it to the awareness that because there's many other aspects that I feel like he feels aligned for basic needs liberation of Earth. And then there's hashtags tech, AI, corruption, and find God, because there's no fucking God in this. It's just obvious kayfabe. The matrix kayfabe is obvious. What do you do? It's just pumping, dude. It's all pumping. This is an obvious pumping. What are we going to do? How are we going to get media attention that is fake? Well, we're going to do kayfabe. Okay, look up kayfabe. If you don't know what kayfabe is, look it up and study it in detail, because that's all the matrix does is kayfabe. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit kayfabe. And also influencers are really good at kayfabe. It's all a bunch of bullshit lies, right? It's staged bullshit. So this is a staged bullshit where they're like, okay, we're going to fire you from the board, and then Microsoft's going to hire you, and then you're going to return to OpenAI. And by the way, all the fucking propagandic media outlets that are controlled by the Matrix are going to dump articles onto the internet about it. So then you have billions of people that are looking at this that are then pumping Microsoft or OpenAI with value. And then that's why you get this goddamn bullshit, which is that the stock price climbed to an all-time high. It's fucking obvious what's happening. It's obvious what's happening. They're fucking popping champagne, billionaires with their fucking inflated goddamn egos, not giving a fuck at all about basic needs, about the poor and middle class. Not caring at all. Not caring at all. It's just obvious kayfabe, and it's fucking bullshit. And the AI arms race is another fucking excuse to be selfish and greedy instead of to decentralize and distribute and be ethical and be smart and take things in the direction of finding God. Goddamn find God, you stupid, corrupt matrix elites. Find God. Allow this catalyst into the goddamn little pinhole within that cancerous program that's running in the open space, and allow your body to be surrendered to God, serving basic needs for all. Gosh,
inside of us.
This is a good one too. It's Ye. It's Ye talking about we as a collective are God. God is inside us. And Ye's got such good music. You know, he's obviously a GOAT, a greatest of all time, and I think that just speaks even more to how that these guys are activated in God mode, and spiritual cunts can learn to obliterate their contractions that hold them back from being in the same God mode as these GOAT rappers. Here's another conversation. A friend sent me a screenshot of what I wrote about if you're not just an empty body fighting for New Earth, you're not done on the path. God will effortlessly roar out the body's mouthpiece when the douchefuck contractor is done simping in delusion. And they wrote, yes, that energy though. And I say, yes, freedom and fire, transmutation, New Earth now. It's time. This is a fun thread. It's a couple slides here. It's time. Burn everything false. Self-rules, yes. Not selfish, yes. Like dragons spitting fire, like Kali chopping off heads, the matrix will fall. Yeah. New world will manifest. It is. Purity, holism, and abundance for all. And then that beautiful face of, and with the earth and love. My heart sings this, freedom from the slavery of separation. For women to be safe and free to express their gifts. For children to be born free without selling their time. Just yes, it's beyond words, it's action. This is the responsibility of the divine masculine, is to build new earth, to shepherd new earth, for women to be safe, to be free to express their gifts, to be able to nourish and support the divine masculine, because the masculine is worshiping the divine feminine. And for children to be born free without selling their time, this is all about the seventh generation principle in indigenous culture. It's all about that. You have to die on the sword of building the future of harmony for all and basic needs abundance for all. It's beyond words, it's action. Not budging at all from this, etched on the sword that's always wielded. Etched. You can see it on the sword right there. Fucking see it on the sword. It's always etched there. That's new earth abundance and prosperity for all, and it's always wielded. Taking a stand. Love you. I'm with you. I love you too. Yes, as family, the new world is done. Amen. All men. So it is. Amen. So it is. Good night. Good night. Rest well. Good morning. Holy communion always now. Always now. Never not. Holy, holy, holy. Always holy. Haha. Life is a typo. Holy. Haha. Haha. Bless. Yes. Hugs. So, kisses. Blessings.
2023 and everyone wants to get rich. What's up, Wealthomaniac? But the best way to get...
So, this one is funny. This is a great parody. If you listen, basically this guy is making a parody on the swindlers and the cancer on the internet. Because it's totally out of control. There's endless swindlers and fake gurus on the internet that are making all kinds of bullshit courses for like thousands of dollars for you to learn how to teach courses to other people to make money, and all kinds of bullshit. Red flag. Those course creators that are the bullshit ones, that are swindlers, they equally need to be dragged by the testicles out onto the warfield for new earth. And this one's beautiful. This is emerging from 3 days of darkness retreat, and you can see that there's this deep realization that it's always here, and it's impossible to leave. And this is the greatest story ever told: is you this now, and you've always been held, you've always been loved, you've always been exactly the absolute, exactly God, exactly the indescribable. You've never left it. It's not possible to leave it. So sometimes that stillness really helps so much to just grok that and then go and die into the building the new world. You must master a new way of thinking before you master a new way of being. So in this case, the breaking every limit, bitch, YOLO, full life force for the new world. Because what you're doing is you're mastering a new way of thinking, which is then influencing the being, right? So it's God thinking, and I write it here too, that in this next one, that it's always emptiness that's thinking. It's always God that's thinking, is always the case. There's always no one home. And when there's no limits, the new world is the essence of the flow. So meaning that it's always the case that the thoughts are God's thoughts and that the flow, but then there's we got to give it a word, because selfing itself needs a word, and hijacker is a really good word for that, because it basically contracts the God flow into selfishness and greed and unethical principles and corruption and all kinds of bullshit. And so then it's this illusion that there is someone home and that there is separation and that there are limits and that it doesn't matter about the new world. And so when the hijacker is completely obliterated, there's just no limits, and the new world is the essence of the pure God flow. I love this one too. This is a really good one for the parents. Some of us are raising the wild ones, the room wreckers and reality checkers, the fire-tongued and fierce leaders, the wild-hearted and world changers. This is very applicable to my mom and my dad. These kids can argue like a prosecutor when you just wish they'd say, yes, mama, and move on. But one day they will use those skills to stand up for themselves, for the people they love, and for perfect strangers, because injustice doesn't live in their world. So this is really the essence of these, whatever you want to call them, these star seeds, rainbow children. I don't give a fuck what you call them. The ones that are just going completely out of control for the new world, and they just don't oblige to any of the matrix. The new world warriors, they just don't apply to any of the matrix propaganda or systems, and they just argue like crazy to get out of those and to build the new. So those are the real ones. Those are the absolute real ones, the ones that live and breathe non-separation and God flow for the new world. This one's really good, by Jack Kerouac also. The silence is so intense that you can hear your own blood roar in your ears, but louder than that by far is the mysterious roar, which I always identify with the roaring of the diamond wisdom, the mysterious roar of silence itself, which is a great shh. Reminding you of something you've seemed to have forgotten in the stress of your day since birth. Get it. I get it. I'm serious. This type of stuff, dude, you got to be fucking working out, my friends. You got to be working out. Ta, 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 ta. You got to be working out. You got to be working out. You got to be on the abs. You got to be on the push-ups. You got to be on the squats. You got to be on the shadow boxing, on the pull-ups. You got to be on all of it. You got to be stretching the body. You got to be activating the warrior within. And you got to be doing that multiple times a day. If you're not doing those types of body weight workouts multiple times a day, you're actually inhibiting the God flow of the divine masculine within you. You're inhibiting it. You're lethargy program has got the body. Party like it's 1776. No, for real. Let's cut these tyrants out. Dude, this is what I'm saying. 250 years ago, there's fucking roaring divine masculine for fuck these tyrants, fuck this bullshit. But you see here, I wrote at the bottom that men have been simped into Call of Duty, into COD, which is a sim within a sim. It's a simulation within this Infinity War simulation. And Jiggas be playing COD, but can't exit and build. Pussies. You see, it's like you grab the controller and you're in a simulation within this simulation, and you're stuck there playing for days and days and days and days and days and days. Meanwhile, in the simulation outside that, in this one, what is that there's obvious tyranny that's happening. There's totalitarian tiptoe that's happening, and because you can distract yourself and escape and do all kinds of shit. You don't have to go into it like these guys did. These guys, there was so much pain in the tyranny, and there was so little room for distraction that 1776, there had to be the independence. There had to be getting the tyrants out of the picture. And so this is the type of action that we're talking about with the divine masculine that steps into its energy to build the new world, to liberate from the tyrannies of the totalitarian tiptoes that are happening, and exit and build the fucking new world, sovereign homesteads and communities, energy, food, water, joy, housing, all kinds of things. Make it abundant. Make it sovereign. Yeah, this toxic masculinity woke cunt. Fucking hate these woke cunts. Would kill them all, but I don't have to because the World Economic Forum is doing it for us. The global elite are doing it for us. The deprogrammed man, all the deprogrammed man has to do is go and build the new world. Just go and build the new world and keep the sword wielded and ready to that's the matrix tentacles. You're just making sure that those matrix tentacles don't get anywhere near the families that are building the new world and whatnot. Because all of the ones that are going to be stuck, all these woke cunts are going to be stuck in the matrix prisons, and we'll send them catalysts through the ether in order to try to shatter their programs and try to ring them into the new world. But the ones that are stuck in those patterns, the global elites are going to have their own doing with them, because they're going to be obsoleted. They're going to be completely obsoleted. Eating all kinds of meat's going to be illegal. They're going to be all kinds of centralized bank digital currencies, limitations on what they can do. There's going to be AI robots and drones that are taking over all of the jobs, that are enslaving. All that kind of shit is gonna happen. It's part of the dark arts playbook, and it's part of the trajectory of where things are going. It's impossible for it not to be that way. Go look at the billionaire matrix kayfabe we just talked about. They're the exact same programs that are doing this nonsense. Exit and build. When did it become okay, I love this, to fuck our sisters, then kick them to the curb and get high-fived by our brothers? I remember when I first started getting this programming slapped out of me in 2018. So much repenting. I thank God for the initiations into worshiping the feminine. Now seeing the demonic force and eviscerating it like a laser beam is dojo. And I'll read the next one too, because it relates to that. And when the F did it become okay to disrespect their fathers like that, and their mothers, and to raise women to sell their pussy on OnlyFans or slut away on Instagram? When did it become okay for men to abandon God's will of basic needs for all for their selfish pursuits? This contractive programming oozed into the hive mind, and Kali is hungry to eat it. It's just such a bitch, this way that the brothers are high-fiving each other, and also how the women are slutting away and allowing themselves to be used. Women are allowing themselves to be used instead of becoming the divine feminine and finding the divine masculine. And then the not divine masculine is just fucking and kicking women to the curb, and then high-fiving their brothers, disrespecting their fathers, disrespecting their mothers. The fathers and mothers did not raise the women to sell their pussies on OnlyFans or slut away on IG, but it somehow managed to happen. And that's another part of the divine parenting, is for that kind of thing, for the divine masculine to come into the boys so that they don't simp, and also so that they don't fucking kick to the curb, or even consider the divinity of being pure until you identify, you date and you identify the one that you want to start family with. And the masculine, again, is in its selfishness and its greed and in its separation and unethicalness. It abandons God's will of basic needs for all, and it runs the hijacker programs, which is all about selfish pursuits. And so Kali is hungry to eat all of this. That's what the divine warrior masculine is it's hungry as fuck to eat all of that contracted programming that's oozed into the hive mind. This one also, USA Logic. So this is a photo from the inside of an Afghanistan arms dealer, and the weapons are leftover weapons from America's time in Afghanistan. So here's USA Logic. You go to war using taxpayer money against people's will. You kill innocent people and take resource supremacy. You leave the weapons behind, equipping the retaliation. You use more taxpayer money in counterterrorism. The global elites pump the military stocks and the global bankers, and the poor and middle class eat shit. because the poor and middle class are the ones that are bearing the fucking burden as taxpayers onto this. Meanwhile, the global elite and bankers siphon out the wealth with pumping these military stocks that the poor and middle class don't agree with. They don't agree with going to war. They don't agree with going to kill innocent people. They don't agree with the US's tentacles everywhere. They don't agree with, and then the equipping, the insurgencies and the retaliations with the weapons that are left behind. I mean, guys, this is the dark arts 101. It's way too fucking obvious. It's way too obvious. All that has to happen is just stop pretending like it's not obvious and just start speaking about it like it is obvious. And then it acts as catalyst to cease all of those contracted programs and to liberate into building the new world. So we're sick of this, we're done with this, and we're moving on. And just be fucking clear and constituted as that repeatedly in all of your conversations and all of your beingness all the time. And this last one is, you did not come here to serve fictitious money and governments. You came here to bring heaven to earth. You did not come here to simp to the matrix. You did not come to simp to the matrix. Okay? Any facet of the matrix, big daddy governments, OnlyFans girls, playing in video game loops, vax me daddy, war, propagating war. You did not come here to simp to those programs. You came to serve Earth. You came to serve Earth, to build new Earth. And that's what all of the body is to be constituted as an empty vessel for God's will to channel through it to build new Earth. That is the highest teaching. That is the highest spirituality. That is the highest. Everything is that. That's it. 100% completely empty of self is 100% in union with God. That's the end of the story. There's no other way around it. 100% empty of self is 100% in union, in God's divine flow. Everything running through the mouthpiece is for the new world, for decentralization, for basic needs abundance for all, for children to be free, for women to be safe to express their gifts, for men to be joyous and abundant. And everyone deserves that. Everyone deserves that. The next generations deserve that. It's the end of the story. There is no budging from that. It is the end of the story. It is a done deal. It's already done. The new world is already done. We are to come from that frequency of it being already done and never budging from it. Never budge from it. Never budge from it. That's what constitutionalization means, is never budge from it. New world or bust. On the sword is etched. On the sword is new world warrior, abundance for all, prosperity for all. No matrix tentacles. None of them. And then just emanating that, always, everywhere, emanating that, being an inspiration to those that are literally desperately seeking this type of inspiration. You know, watching this content is almost it is in a way, it's like it's being baptized into the new world. Watching this content is getting pummeled by catalysts of a constituted warrior for the new earth. And therefore, then there's a constitutionalization that can happen on the receiving end, where there's a, fuck this, I'm so done with the old, I'm so done with the matrix enslavement shit, I'm just 100% constitutionalized as this empty vessel for God's flow for the new world. I'm done with all my selfing, I'm done with all my hijacker programs, I'm done with being a spiritual cunt, I'm done with all that bullshit. It is 100% game over, and it is GG. It is time to move forward and build the new earth only, and to emanate that everywhere that this body, that this mouthpiece moves. And it's done. And it's done. And so it is. Here we are. Envision the new world, the solar punk future, complete harmony with Earth. Complete harmony with each other, basic needs met for all, children frolicking with excitement and freedom, women and men in harmony, in divinity, abundant and free. Technology being in complete unison and harmony with nature and with humanity. And you can hear those birds chirping. You can feel the animals that are around also in play with the humans. The flora also, the planet's green ecosystems coming alive with excitement instead of being choked by the human cancer selfish tendencies. And you can see how from that place we can be abundant in our space exploration also. We can become exactly what God has destined us to be. We can have complete abundance and prosperity for all. It's already done. It's there. You're envisioning it now. This galactic, this universal, this free energy, this abundance for all, this complete creative freedom, complete harmony with nature, complete saturation into love and divinity constantly. It's already there. You're already there. Now constitutionalize as that and never move. And that's how the new world manifests. Mwah. Much love. Excited to do more of these soon. Thanks for tuning in. And feel free to comment below. Would love to hear from you on the episode. And subscribe if you haven't yet. Share the episode with people you think might be interested in it. And let's do this. The new world is done. You can join the DAO. The link's in the bio below to join the DAO, Home DAO. It's a great way to homestead and build the new communities. There's also the Patreon links down there if you want to join in that way. And the website's down there with all the projects. You can check that out. Support and sharing those if they excite you.